Hi, this is Paul Sanneman, the founder of Contractor Staffing Source, where we help contractors build great teams. Have with me today on business success tips, where the focus of business success tips is to make more money in less time and have more fun, specializing in the more fun part. So I have Dave Carroll from Dope Marketing. With a name like that, it's got to be fun, right? I mean, come
We
on.
have a little we have a little bit of fun over at Dope. A little bit.
That's that. I like that because it's all about fun in my mind, So we need to have more fun.
Amen.
So, Dave, tell the audience what you do and why you do it and why should they listen to what you have to say.
So, bit of my background in the background of Dope Marketing. I started my home service company about 14 years ago, and like most of us, was wearing a lot of hats, doing a lot of stuff, shaking the hands, kissing the babies, doing the work, estimates, everything. I saw a problem in traditional marketing over the years. I saw that direct mail was just really hard. And I was born in 1985. Sadly, when you call a direct mail company, they are going to propose a strategy to you from the year I was born or previously. And to me, that'll be dramatic. It's just criminal. As the world evolves, as life evolves, technology evolves, business evolves, there's just different ways to do things. And so at Dope Marketing, we built a piece of software that allows you to send laser focused direct mail with no minimum order to any home or business in the United States. We can set up campaigns. We can connect with your CRM. We can do postcards and handwritten notes and goodie boxes and all different types of stuff. And historically, those campaigns would take 2 to 8 weeks to put together. We built an interface that you can come on and do this stuff in 30 seconds to a minute, or you can just have your account management team over here at Dope set all this stuff up for you.
Now that sounds amazing. Okay, so I know, I mean, I was amazed because I have a book in Amazon. I published a book on Amazon called Contractor Success Tips. They can print it and send it for $10 a book, and they can do one. I go,
Yep.
how do you possibly pull that off? I mean, it's
Yeah.
crazy, right? They can print one book, cost me whatever, $4 to print the thing, and they send it to the person. I
Yeah.
go, how can you print a book for $4? Can you explain to
It's
me how that whole thing works? I don't get it.
so as technology is involved, and again, if you would have told me, Dope is going into its fourth year of business. My I joke with my team. We just hired our 50th employee this year. It's like if you would have told me 3 years ago I'd own a print shop, I'd tell you you're crazy. That was not the plan. Like we're a software company. But when we saw in the print space, it's just the print space, all jokes aside, is ran by a bunch of 70-year-old fat guys who suck at golf, whose kids don't want to work for them.
I mean, it's
There's
like
not much.
I think of the big printing presses, those big, huge presses, crank, 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 crank. Um, how do you print so cheap? I don't get it.
So we bought the printers. So we are now the manufacturer. So the equipment, we got millions of dollars invested into our print shop. We moved into 30,000 square feet this year. We manufacture everything we do internally. We're the system. We built this company to broker that workout. We just saw that the quality was bad. It was late. It was delayed. It was whatever. We weren't in control. And the approach that I take, Paul, is like these printers are just big computers. And with technology, you can make things talk to each other. And I try to approach life with a very abundance mindset. It's like,
Right.
I'm not a printer. I don't know how to run these things, but those are pieces of equipment with manuals that a human has read before that they know how to run. So whether it's a stump grinder, a gutter machine, any piece of equipment, it's like they make these things for people to run. And if you're a human and you bleed and you breathe and you sleep, like someone knows how to read that manual to make these things work. So as technology is advanced in the print space, we batch postcards, handwritten notes, and gift boxes 6 days a week within 24 hours because technology nowadays, you're not buying these huge presses like you'd see the newspapers made on
Yeah,
and
I
stuff
think all
like
these
that.
giant presses. What does the printing press looks like nowadays? Is it like
Yeah,
must be entirely different?
I'd say it's about like if I think about like my car, like I drive a sedan,
Hmm.
we have printers that are a half to three quarters of the size of my car that are doing all this stuff. We have a yard sign printer. That's one of the things we do really well at Dope. We have a yard sign printer that's about as big as a semi truck. But this thing is it grabs the big boards and it picks them up and it drops them on the conveyor and it cuts the thing. So it eliminated 3 humans from our process. We just got that thing at the beginning of this year. And so, like with most things, think about the trades, the construction industry, all of the audience, like the advancements in equipment and manufacturing just over the past 5 to 10 years. That's going on everywhere. And just like in the construction and the trade space, printing is the same. This technology is advancing. And if you put some software, some technology behind it to allow it to do some things, some magic can happen.
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, I think about, Tesla's manufacturing some 10,000, some stupid thing like 5,000 cars a day and everything. I'm using machines. It's crazy, right? So it's the same thing. So using technology. So that's why Amazon can print a book for me for $4, one book. I go, that's impossible. I mean, the old days, you'd have to order a minimum order of whatever, 500.
Hundreds or thousands like or something.
$5,000 just to get some books printed as opposed to $4.
Yeah. Technology advancement.
That's amazing. So tell me about how, because I'm a fan of direct mail, how that works. Like if you're a contractor, somebody, how do you pick the group you're going to mail to? What do you mail? How do you mail it? How does that whole thing work? What does it cost?
So outside of dope marketing being a cute, cheeky name, it actually stands for, and any of my military people will understand this, it's data on previous engagement. That's what dope stands for. You need dope for your scope to make a decision as a sniper in the military. And so the idea—
Now that sounds scary to me, but I don't hear about it. This is if you're if you're a hitman for the military, this is a term you would know, right? It's like,
there you go. Exactly. I had to get educated on this. We just named the company Dope because I say dope 17 times in every sentence that I say. Right. And then I met a guy who was a veteran that was speaking at a show I was speaking at that edged my buddy Eric Wynn. Always give him kudos because sometimes in life the stars just align. And so I've actually owned a data company for 10 years. That was the background of Dope. When I got on my home service company, we got into the data space. So the lists, targeting, the data in your business tells a story. And you as the entrepreneur, the business owner, you took on the responsibility. You got to read that book. And so the idea is, regardless of what CRM or system you're using to track your jobs, you could be using anything from like House Call Pro, Service Titan, AccuLinks, Jobber, HubSpot. Maybe it's just on a Google sheet.
Right.
But when you think about where to, we're wrapping up 2023 as we're recording this. When you say, Dave, where do I spend my marketing dollars in 2024? The data in your business will tell a story. There's an exercise that I'll share with everyone. It's really easy. If you just have your jobs from last year in a spreadsheet, the addresses of the jobs that you did, and maybe it's a specific service that you do, like Minnesota, we're doing different services in January and February than we are in June. So if you think about the services that you did last year, you put them in a spreadsheet with the addresses, you highlight the spreadsheet, and you sort the spreadsheet by zip code. You want to look at the top 3 zip codes where you did work last year, because instead of doing this shotgun approach or spray and pray method of marketing, our friends at Harvard, Paul, you went to Harvard, right? Like me, Harvard alumni?
Absolutely, sure.
There you go. So our alma mater at Harvard told us it takes 7 to 11 touches for a cold consumer to remember a brand. The average local business, specifically in the trades and home service and construction, is getting 2 to 4 touches. What's a touch? It's a yard sign. It's a door hanger. It's seeing the truck. It's seeing the guy's hoodie at the gas station, billboard, radio. However you're advertising, big company, small company, doesn't matter. The average brand in a local market is getting 2 to 4 touches.
When you look like a sale to me.
No, no, it's not at all. But when you think about where do I want to focus my touches? I'm in Minneapolis and St. Paul in the Twin Cities in Minnesota. We have about 3 million people in a 7-county area. Instead of marketing a shotgun approach to the whole Twin Cities, I want to look in the neighborhoods of where I did jobs last year. Because think about, for all you homeowners or people that work with homeowners, there are certain demographics when you go to buy a home. What's the average age of the homeowner? What's the average value of the home? And how many kids per household in a neighborhood? When you think about your neighbors, this isn't 10 out of 10. 8 out of 10 of your neighbors, you probably have something in common with that fall into that demographic profile. Right. So you think about people and why people
Well, I know.
do
I mean, things
things.
like Facebook got in trouble for that because they could tell you what car they drive, how many kids they have, what their income is. And they used to be really good at that. And they got sued so often. They said, no, we have to back off that because geofencing is still good, but they had to back off because they were too specific, right?
Do you know where all that data came from, Paul?
People on Facebook, I have no idea.
It's the direct mail companies. That's where
Really?
all this data, Axiom, LiveRamp, Kantar, CoreLogic, all that targeting on Facebook has been around since 85. When you hit up a list brokering company and you want to buy a list of homeowners with a home value over 500,000, over this many square feet, that have a credit score of this much, that have a dog, all that data has been available before Facebook. Facebook put it on an interface to be able to show those people ads. But when you think of the art of data modeling and going back to these neighborhoods, it's like, it's one thing that people are the same age, they live the same lifestyle. They might not be, hanging out every weekend, borrowing a cup of
No,
sugar,
but they
hanging
have,
out.
they have a similar price car, they have a similar income, they have a similar, because there's a reason they live in the same house, which means they have the same kind of needs, and their roofs go bad, their flows go bad, their kitchens go bad, all about the same time.
And take it even, you hit it on the head. Not only do these people have things in common as people, as humans, because we're relative creatures, pretty
Right.
predictable, but their house was built around the same year of the same materials by probably one of the same handful of builders. So these things that are being updated, maintained, improved. There's a fascinating statistic around home buyers in the United States. So roughly 10 to 30,000 people, depending on the time of year, buy a home in the United States every single day. 9 out of 10 Americans. So there's like 350 million people, around 90 million homeowners. 9 out of 10 of those 90 million homeowners, around 82 million of them, the biggest financial transaction they will ever make in their life is the purchase of that home. Dave buying the house from Paul and the check that
Right.
gets exchanged. Paul,
Right.
you're a smart guy. What are the second, third, and fourth largest financial transactions that a human will make in the United States in their life?
Well, I would say a car, and after a car, does marriage count? Wives are expensive. No.
They are. Get this. Yeah, we just had our fifth kid here in the Carroll household. It all gets expensive. But get this. It's not a
Kids.
car. It's not braces. It's not kids. It is maintenance, improvement, and upkeep to that property, because buying a home is the American dream. And when you think about
Right.
buying your home, what do you do when you buy your home? You're painting, you're improving a bathroom, you're improving a kitchen. And when you just look at that check, that one transaction lines up in those second, third, and fourth largest financial transactions that a homeowner will make. So now when you think about, where do I target? Where do I want to get in front of people? You want to look at those top 3 zip codes where you did work. And this is pretty simple. Depending on how good you are with technology, you can look up how to do this on YouTube. You can take the addresses of your jobs from last year, upload them to Google, put them on a map, and just look for the clusters. Where's the consistency? Where are the neighborhoods where you're already doing work? That's where you want to take the touches from those other neighborhoods on that shotgun approach. Double down on the neighborhoods where you're already doing work. And it doesn't matter if you're building a home, you're putting on siding, you're installing gutters, you're painting, you're doing bathrooms, kitchens, whatever. The data in your business from your jobs from last year, and you can even get down to like quarterly. Let's say there's certain jobs over the summer, you build a lot of decks. You want to look at the addresses of the jobs where you built decks in the 3 months of last summer, put that shit on Google Maps, and now look at where are the clusters, because that's where I'm going to go put the yard signs coming out of the stop signs of that neighborhood. I'm going to put up my door hangers. I'm going to do the Facebook stuff. I'm going to leave my door tags. I'm going to park a truck in the gas station
Station.
in that neighborhood. All of those touches.
So Dave, that reminds me, I'm going to diverge for a second. So here's a question for you. Okay, you've got 4 markets, all right? Market A, anybody will buy anything. It's clearly, that's the name we're talking about. Market B, it's a little harder to do, but not impossible. Market C, it's not impossible, but it's hard. And market D, it's like downright impossible to sell your stuff, okay? Those are your 4 markets. Could be geographic, could be however they're marked, 4 markets. Now, you have 4 salespeople. Salesperson A, she's amazing. Anybody, anything, she's the best salesperson you ever had. Salesperson 2 is good, but not great. Salesperson 3 is like, okay. And salesperson 4 is your brother-in-law and he sucks, but you got to hire him anyway. So the question is, you're a marketing guy. Which salespeople go in which territories?
I wouldn't even have C and D in my vocabulary. You shouldn't spend any time in market C and D, because why are you trying to force a square through a
So
circle?
the question, which people do you put in which territory?
All four go in A.
You got it right. Most people don't ever understand that, right? You
Yeah, it's
take
simple.
all your assets and you put them in your best territory because that's where you get the most benefit. It sounds like what you're doing to me. You're finding out your territory A, right? Whatever that is for you. It could be the housing tract, it could be the demographic, whatever that is for you.
100%.
And then you're focusing all your assets, marketing assets, in that territory A, whether it's direct mail, whether it's social media, whatever the heck it is. And doing anything else is sort of a waste of time, in my opinion.
100% it's a waste of time, because like we get all these harebrained ideas as business owners, but when you go get your tax ID, that EIN, the E in EIN stands for ego. We want to think that we're right and it's got to be our way and we're going down this path, and no. Success leaves clues. You just got to look at what other people are doing. When you look at that other business in your market, doesn't matter if you're in Manhattan, Miami, Mena, Arkansas, Hawaii, wherever, if you simply look at who's doing what you want to be doing, assess how they're doing it, feel like an artist, put your spin on it, and apply the strategies. Like, you started your business for a reason. A lot of people in the trades grew up doing something. Their mom or dad did something. They did something in school and decided instead of going to school, they wanted to work. Whatever the story was that got you to where you're at. A technician mentality leads the trades a lot of times, and we overcomplicate the idea of sales and marketing, where it's just like, what are you doing right? What are the problems that you solve? Your customers have 100 problems during the day. You probably solve 4 to 7 of them perfectly. And depending on the time of year, market A, unit A, service A, whatever, all of your attention should be focused on what you're doing the best. I like to say, like, an entrepreneur's got 5 fingers on their hand for a reason. 4 things that are working well, one thing that's replaceable that you could at any time make one of the other 4, and you're just constantly focused on what you're doing the best and building systems and processes around that, because business gets easy when it gets boring. Not a bunch of new ideas. It's about staying focused on what you're good at.
Right. So clearly that stuff works. And if you, now this is going to be a crazy question, but I'm asking a lot of people, I've been interviewing a lot of marketing people lately. How do you figure ROI on the money people spend with you? Is that a number you even come up with?
It's really easy. So when you look at the houses that you sent mail to, you have an address where you sent the mail. When you look at the 2 categories that you have of customers, you have your leads and you have your completed jobs. At any time at Dope Marketing, we can show you how many postcards we sent to your leads based on the address, how many postcards we sent to your completed jobs, and you're adding up the touches. What we see with our clients is anywhere from a 5 to a 25% plus increase on conversions of leads for people that are getting things in the mail. We have a very simple strategy at Dope Marketing. 1 postcard a week, 4 weeks in a row, to the neighbors of your current jobs automatically. Now, you have to be using a CRM to do this. You can't be writing your
But you
jobs
could use
down on
HubSpot or anything, or Titan, or
a
whatever you got, right?
all of them, every one of them. We integrate with every one of them. When you mark a job complete, Dope Marketing on your behalf will send 25 postcards to the neighbors once a week for 4 weeks in a row. Hey, pardon the dust, pardon the noise. We just got your neighbor approved for a new roof. Check out we check out the project we just did in the area. Here's a meet our team. Here's a Google review. The drips and the touches.
Right, that's amazing. One of the guys that was a great idea. He said in a neighborhood, what he does is he buys a trash kind of bin thing, and he tells all the neighbors, all the stuff you can't get rid of, like paint and stuff, we'll take it for you, right?
Like, he puts the dumpster in the driveway because he's using it, but then he hits up all the neighbors and say, hey, you can use it too.
Becomes a hero, right?
Amen. I love it. Absolutely love it.
And so that works really well for him. So to me, the ROI has got to be huge on that, because you're already in the right place with that's your market A. If you're doing a roof or a house or a remodel, within 100 houses of that house is market A for you, because you've already proven your worth. You've got a customer. That's where you need to spend your resources. And a lot of guys
100%.
have problems once they define market A. They'll like do one house in a neighborhood, and they'll go like 5 neighborhoods away or 6 or half across the way to do another one. I go, why? Because those people already need what you have and you're already good at it. So why would you go someplace else?
100%. Could not agree more.
So, question for you. How much does it, I was looking at your pricing, seems pretty amazing to me, but you can come, what does it cost to do that? Because I know postcards tend to be expensive, the direct mail list, they have, how do I find the list? And a lot of people, in my opinion, don't focus. Like they'll buy a direct mail list that has 1,000 people on it, and they'll email 1,000 people, and it doesn't work. I mean, I used to send
And they'll hit
100.
it one time or something. Yeah. So success, like anything in life, you want to use a dating analogy, you want to use a workout analogy or whatever. Success happens with consistency. So focusing on with direct mail, let's say postcards are right around $1. With us, depending on your package, where the manufacturer, you can get them as cheap as like 70 cents, as much as $2, depending on where you're at in our pricing range. But you can send them at no minimum order. We have the ability, so we have free accounts on Dope where you can get on and it's all just do it yourself. We have managed accounts where you have an account rep, a designer, a strategist, everything dialing it in together, again at no minimum order. When you look at the strategies that work with Dope and a budget, we have clients, depending on where you're at in your business, it's easy to throw around these broad marketing stats. If you should spend 5 to 15% of your annual gross revenue on marketing, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that when you look at neighborhoods or areas, depending on the services that you're in, we're going to have listeners here that are doing 5 jobs a year. We're going to have guys that are doing 5 jobs a day. And so when you think about like what you're willing to invest in a job, one thing when people start throwing around the acronyms, ROI, KPIs, match, all this different stuff,
Right.
you just have to understand what you're willing to pay for a lead and what your close rate is. And it sounds so simple and easy for a marketing person to dance around it, but what I see is spending $100 around a job to educate a neighbor with direct mail. If a postcard is $1 and you're going to send a postcard to the nearest neighbors once a week for 4 weeks in a row, think about spending $100 on a job to ensure that the neighbors of your current projects are getting a tiny little billboard in the mailbox once a week for 4 weeks in a row.
So,
Because they,
so question, well, first time, I'm surprised direct mail, Costco still sends me direct mail every other week, and they're not stupid, right?
correct.
And so, if Costco's doing it, must not be a bad idea. So I don't think direct mail's dead, right? Because they send me this thing and they're a very successful company. The question, so it's still good and viable. How far away from the house you're working on? Is it 2 houses, 4 houses, 10? What do you look at that radius that you want to mail? I'm just curious.
The sweet spot is 25, what I like, because they've seen the truck, they've seen your yard sign, they've seen your guys. Maybe they got a door hanger or a flyer. Maybe you generated that using Facebook, Google, whatever other advertising platform. 25 neighbors is what I like. But there are different services where we go further for some of those companies that are only doing like a project a month or something like that, but they want another one in that neighborhood. I'd go out to 100 because you're doing less jobs. But like here in the fall in the Twin Cities, when we do gutter cleaning, we do like $750,000 in just gutter cleaning for my cleaning company here, Lion Share Maintenance in the Twin Cities. I'm hitting the nearest 25 neighbors of every single job that we do because I can keep it a little bit tighter because
And they've all
everyone
got
needs gutter
gutters and they
cleaning.
all need cleaned, right?
Bingo.
Right. Cool. Well, this is incredibly informative. I'm a big fan of this because I've been, I'm not a big fan of direct mail this personally because I used to do 100,000 direct mails a month and I didn't get much out of it. I'd throw a couple webinars and I could double, triple that, just got people I knew. So I think focusing on what works is awesome here. And you already
Absolutely.
have a client base because you know where they live, literally, right?
Correct.
And so once you know where they live, you know what their neighbors do. And it's interesting, I heard a statistic the other day that I think construction is the second largest industry in the world. It's huge.
Correct. It is.
So this is an answer. So I would say to people listening to this, if you're not using direct mail and you're not using someone like Dope, you're just not smart. I mean, come on, it works, right? And if you look at I've been interviewing a lot of people, and I honestly, I probably interviewed maybe 5, 6, 10 marketing companies. You're the first guy I've talked to that actually does and has faith in direct mail. And I think it's awesome. So
It's an easy thing to turn your nose up at, but again, it goes with technology. I'm not saying send out 100,000 pieces a month, cross your fingers, and hope that it works. Like most things in life, strategies evolved, technology evolved, and there's a way to do direct mail in a bit of a different approach to truly implement cross-channel marketing in your business. Multiple touches on different channels to build trust and awareness anywhere in the country. Doesn't
And
matter what the
simple, I
market is.
mean, I would say just off the top of my head, if you get a job from a job, which is usually happen in a neighborhood, and you spend $100 to let the neighbors know what you're doing, and you're doing anything at all, even if it's a $50,000 bathroom, that's $100 to get the next job. And then it just keeps scaling because they have neighbors and neighbors have neighbors, and it just, I'm
If
sure
I
it's
was doing if
giving.
I was doing a $50,000 bathroom, and let's just say net when it was said and done, I'm making 10 to 15,000 in profit off of that
Right,
$50,000 bathroom. I would be spending $2,000 in that neighborhood trying to get another job
right.
all day, all day.
And it absolutely works. Cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate your time, Dave. How do people get in touch with you?
I'm the bald guy yelling about direct mail on the internet.
Absolutely. That's the guy. How do you
Look
get a
up
hold of this guy, right?
dope DOPE marketing. We are everywhere.
Okay, dope marketing. Thanks a lot, Deb. I really appreciate you being here. Have a good one.
Absolutely. Yep. You too.